It's Amador, and I've been playing again with my Tilda paper, and this one is the Autumn Lilac, and I got this from the ArtAttack store, and you guys, I will leave a link for the store here. Traci has a brand new e-store, because, you know, I think I've said it before, Zibbit's, or everybody probably knows by now, Zibbit's going wacko. So yeah, but I got this. I've never had these paper pads. My favorite one is the Country Escape, which by the way she has. She has that, a few of the Country Red, Sweet Christmas, and off the top of my brain I can't even think of right now what else. But this is the Autumn Lilac, and this one is, sometimes when you see them online, I thought it was more pink or what. This one actually has a mixture of this, which I ended up loving this print like crazy. It has pink, it's more of a dusty pink, and some of this like deeper lavender kind of thing. It has grays and whites and pinks, so it has a combination. If you like pink, you'll love it. If you like light lavender, lilac kind of color, obviously by the name, it'll be perfect. And you can see the die cuts, and here's some scraps that I have left over. So I made a project. I actually, and this is probably nuts, because normally I like to justify my purchases on paper and stuff, especially if they're not cheap ones. I like to justify it for more than 2 projects for certain things. But this is the one project I had definitely in mind. So here's what I did. So you guys are probably thinking, okay, it's a pocket card, big whooped. I wanted to make something that was a gift. How can I put it? Because you guys know I like things that are functional and that serve a purpose. This is a card, and it's a sentiment, and it's a gift all at once. So I wanted to use, and this was, and I was inspired also by the cards that Laura and Elise make. Hey ladies, they have card challenges, but they've been really good at making the, I completely forgot what they're called now, because I'm so nervous. I'm like trying to like remember everything. It's the little, the fancy fold cards that fold in. It's like a pocket card. That's what it is. Oh my gosh, seriously. So, but this one is more of a sentiment card, but it has a gift inside. So I wanted to use, oh, and by the way, I don't know if you can see, I actually stitched it because I'm a sewer now. Boom. Yeah, like I just wanted to throw out that little brag there, because I know how to use a sewing machine. You guys are like, okay, whatever. So anyway, I wanted to use something that I've been trying to figure out how to use it, but and make gifts that I can send out. This is a big old honkin' jar of lavender. I purchased this lavender sometime last year, and I purchased it on eBay. I really do not remember the company. And just for everyone to know, there's so many different types of lavender species. This one is the Grosso, G-R-O-S-S-O. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it, or Grosso, I don't know. I'm pronouncing it correctly. And it's supposed to be the more fragrant of the lavenders. And this is from California. And when I bought my lavender, I like to buy from, and this is like a family-owned farm somewhere in California. And it's only a year old. It was dried last year, basically. And I don't know if like that changes anything, but you know, the less time it's been dried, to me it's the fresher it is, or the more fragrant, then you can get it, have it. So I have tons, and this is nothing. This jar is almost full. I actually have a whole bag, the massive Ziploc bag that it came in. I don't even know where I left it now. So anyway, and I have a little scoop in there, and I like to send out as gifts or whatever. So this one, I wanted to use this paper sack to make a pocket, and inside it has a lavender sachet, but you can just have it there as a card. So I used the lighter paper on the back, so you can write a little note. You can write a little note on the back, or you can stick one in here. I didn't make an extra one because, like I said, that's why I used the lighter one, and you can write a note right there. So this is 6 by 6. Also, I just cut, and also I also like to think of like ways, especially the fancy expensive paper, how you can use it and maximize the amount of use per like 1 or 2 sheets of paper. So this is 6 by 6, and I basically took the paper, cut it in half so I can make 2 pouches right away, and then scored the long sheet, the lengthwise at 3 and 9 inches. So that way you could fold it into, and there it is right there. And this is just a square that I cut out, and I think this one was like 5 1/2 or 5 3/4. And then I cut in the, once I cut this down here, I folded it and I put this thing in there, and I just with the pencil, just wrote down, drew the lines and cut into it. So anyway, enough of that. I'm sure you guys know how to do this. And someone out there, I'm sure, has a much better tutorial than I would ever put out there. So anyhow, but this is the little pocket, and here's the back of this paper, and it's just a little pouch. And once again, I use the sentiment that I used on my other one, because each pad has the same sentiments of the older ones. It just has them in different colors. Life is so sweet with you in it. So that is that. Here's the little pouch that I made, and this is all made out of paper, except for the insert is actually made out of fabric. It's muslin, and I can smell the fragrant little lavender right now. I used this little cutout from the front of the, and it says "Homemade for you with love." And basically, I just took this is, I think, 5 by 12, and I scored it at 5 to make a little pouch. And all I did was just I ran it through my sewing machine, if you guys can see right there, and I stitched along the whole thing through the flap all the way around. And just by coincidence, I love it when I learn stuff. Just by coincidence, I got the flap. I was just going to make a little square and just call it a day. And just sew, once I put the lavender inside, sew the square. Since I scored it at 5, was it 5 or 5 1/4? Whatever. Let's find out. And once again, as always, oh my goodness, never with a ruler. I don't know what it is. Yeah, 5 1/2. So it's 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So once I scored it, because I wanted, that's the size that I wanted that would fit perfectly in my pocket. That makes what, 11 inches. So there was an extra inch left, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how awesome! And I'll just use that as a flap because I had already scored. So this is the little flap, and like I said, this is all paper except for the insert. This is a little die cut, so I sewed it. Let me open it. And I used my vintage buttons. And by the way, like I said, I learn something every time. Next time I have to remember to sew the buttons on before I sew the pouch together, because it was not easy opening it and trying to sew a button through a closed pouch. Not easy, especially if it's paper. So, and I also put like a little piece of paper right there to like reinforce where I sewed it. And as you can see, the little shredded threads. But yeah, it makes an envelope, and I just used some of this, my little jute twine, to make the closure, and I just attached, I die cut some of the paper from the Sizzix Primitive Heart. It's the same one that I used for the buttons. I was going to make this a button, but I'm like, you know what, just stop. So here it is, and like I said, I totally love my little pouch. So I went ahead and grabbed, they look like tea bags. I grabbed some muslin, and oh my god, it smells so good. I grabbed some muslin, put some of the lavender in it, and then as I put it in here, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to all fall to the bottom. So what I did is I kind of just separated it, and then I just sewed it this way, separated it again, and sewed it that way. So it doesn't just all go to the bottom, and it stays up, and it actually stays, like, it doesn't make a big old belly on it or something. I was actually thinking of sewing it again and cutting them up so you would have 4 little pouches, and whoever receives it can get can put them in different places. You can leave one in here in the card, but I could just sew it and then just cut it halfway or whatever. I don't know. I was thinking of doing it, or just, you know, make smaller pouches and they would look like tea bags, and put 4 in there so the person that receives it as a gift, like I said, it's a gift. They can place them, you know, in their drawers with their linens or whatever, in their, you know, in their bathrooms, in their wherever, in their offices. So yeah, and it just totally just coincidentally made a little pouch. Like I said, sometimes I do intend on stuff, and sometimes you get pleasant surprises. And I could just lie and be like, oh no, I intended that from the get-go. That doesn't do me any good. Then I just feel like a jackass. So anyway, but yeah, that is just a very simple, and I just, oh my goodness, like you guys don't understand, I love lavender. I've loved lavender since a child, so I just love it. I can smell my hand. My hands smell like lavender. I'm sitting here smelling my hands like a weirdo. So anyway, but yeah, and it's just like this light, dusty pinks, dusty lavender kind of papers, and totally making a mess here. These are some of the ribbons that I've dyed in lavender, and then just, you can see it has these light, faint, just, oh, lavender. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, so I, once again, just like the other card, like the country red card that I showed, it took me, this one didn't take me as long to put together because I kind of already knew in my head, like, what shape, what size. The thing that was harder, it was making sure I have the right size insert and everything, because and I also distressed the edges to make it look like frayed fabric. That, once again, I wanted to look like I was using fabric as opposed to paper. It was just a matter of making sure I have my dimensions and everything to make a pocket that would fit perfectly into the pouch. Little envelope. Now, I actually made I don't even know where I put it now. What a messy craft room. I actually did make another insert, but it had too much lavender, and when I stuck it in here, it was just all kinds of funky. So yeah, so just, it looks just like a little pocket card, and it's really cute, because you can also, and by the way, whoever does receive them, whenever I do get around to sending these out, if you want to use this to make a card for somebody else, boom, you can do that as well, and you can keep the little, just a cute little lavender. Like, you guys, I'm totally excited, because when I accomplish some of the projects that I have in mind, and this has been in my head forever, like trying to figure out what to use, because, okay, I'm weird. Okay, let me tell you something else that I'm weird about. I'm weird because, let's say if I'm going to put lavender in something, I don't like to use pink papers or fabrics or whatever, because I feel like, just weird, things have to combine. It has to look and smell. All of the senses have to go towards the same thing to me. Like, it has to be lavender. So anyway, that is basically why I bought this paper stack. And the cool thing is that now that I have my dimensions and everything set up, I can totally make several of them. And if anything, I know I said normally I like to have justify something for more than 2 projects, but if I make the whole paper pad with lavender into these lavender pouches, lavender pocket, I don't even know what the heck to call it, that'll be awesome, because there will be gifts and they will go out to people and hopefully make them happy and make their craft rooms and their bathrooms or wherever the heck you want to put, closet, I don't care, smell like that magnificent lavender scent. So anyway, so yeah, I've just basically babbled on over just a rinky-dink pouch, basically, because I'm pretty sure someone out there is like, great, I just wasted my 10-12 minutes on this, and you talked about, whatever. So anyway, but I totally love it, and I hope you guys like it. And, I love using my vintage buttons, because over time I've bought so many, I might as well use them. So yeah, so I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said, if you guys want some of the Tilda paper, go check it out at the ArtAttackSupplies.com store. I will leave a link in the description. This is for that one person. You guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm crazy. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.